Hi, I'm Jean Grossbeck with Coldwell Banker Island Living. Our guest today is Tim Hant with All Islands Home Inspections. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me back.
Great. Well, what I wanted to ask you about today is we have a lot of homes in Anacortes and La Conner and around the valley that are older homes. And a lot of times these homes have been very well maintained. The owners may have lived in these homes for several decades. And then when they go to sell, we get an inspection report that calls out plumbing and wiring and several issues. And it's always a shock to the seller, and it's very concerning to them because they have to spend money they weren't anticipating spending in order to keep the transaction together. So maybe you can explain a little bit why some of the older wiring and plumbing, although functional today, is an issue for a buyer and why a seller may have to make some concessions.
Sure. No, I think that's a great question. Thanks, Shane, very much. With older homes and really with newer homes, the job of the home inspector is to find the defects and to tell your clients, our clients, the state of the home so that they can make an informed decision. And one of the things I constantly tell my clients is that there really is no such thing as a perfect house. Even a brand new house will have a 30-page report, and an older house may have a 60-page report. But this does not necessarily per se condemn the house. There are some issues definitely that come up with older homes. As time has passed, we've grown in our ability to construct heating systems better. We have better plumbing systems. We have better electrical systems that offer increased safety and lifetime than some of the materials that we had in the past. So some of the common things that come up today are in an older home, wiring. Has the wiring been updated? You'll commonly see in old homes knob and tube wiring. And knob and tube wiring is generally considered, well, widespread considered a safety issue. Knob and tube wiring can overheat if strict adherence to clearance from combustibles or clearance from anything is not adhered to. And if anything gets in contact with it, whether it be insulation or wood or storage within the attic, it can lead to a fire, frankly. So it's considered a safety issue, and we recommend that all homes with knob and tube wiring be updated to current standards, which is a big deal for older homes. Plumbing issues can be other issues that come up with older homes. Galvanized piping, for instance, has a typical life expectancy of anywhere from 40 to 50 years. And what happens is the galvanized piping will rust from the inside. From the inside and effectively restrict the plumbing flow within a house to the point where the pipes will no longer give water supply and or can deteriorate and cause bursting, pinhole bursts within the attic, crawl space within the walls, etc. And so galvanized piping that isn't original to a home that's 40 years or so is approaching the end of its serviceable life. It may be beyond the end of its statistical life and should be further evaluated by a plumbing contractor. Ditto with wiring. A home inspector's job is really to identify issues to inform the client and to refer that to a qualified contractor who can further evaluate the issue, determine whether or not it needs replacement. So those are the issues that I see most commonly. I see a lot of original heating systems, not 100-year original heating systems, although I've run into a few, but older heating systems that haven't been maintained or that are beyond their statistical life can represent a surprise to sellers and or buyers when these can fail, which is very difficult to predict. Ducting within a house that was insulated or wrapped with asbestos wrap can be an issue in older homes. And so this is disclosed within the inspection reports, and the issue with asbestos is really one of removal and remediation, which has to be done by a qualified contractor, and whether or not the asbestos is what we call in the industry friable. Friable means, can it become airborne? And if it can become airborne, then it can cause, it's considered a carcinogenic fiber that can get into your lungs and cause health issues. So we always recommend the asbestos. We disclose that asbestos can be in a home when we see it and recommend further evaluation by a qualified contractor.
You mentioned asbestos. Mm-hmm. When you are doing a home inspection, are there just certain things that you look to see if there are asbestos? Do you test for asbestos? Do you randomly test, or do you always test if a home is past a certain age, or how does that work?
Okay, so asbestos is visually identified. So we can't see obviously behind concealed surfaces, but there are obvious places where we know it to be present or likely present. No, home inspectors do not test for asbestos. Asbestos testing always has to be done by a laboratory. So you can take a sample of the asbestos and send it to a laboratory and have it, and comes back, a week later or a few days later to determine definitively whether or not it is asbestos. If a home inspector calls it out, it likely is asbestos, but we have to say it's an asbestos-like substance because we can't definitively determine that without the benefit or the aid of a laboratory.
Thank you for joining us, Tim. I'm Jean Grossbeck with Coldwell Banker, and our agents would love to help you with your home buying process. One of the reasons we do these videos is so that we can help our buyers and sellers be more informed. You can reach our agents at 360-293-4511. When you purchase a home, always get a home inspection. And if you have questions for Tim, the best way to reach him is...
You can reach me on my phone at 298-1163, area code 360, or on the web at allislandsinspections.com, and I'd be delighted to conduct an inspection for you. Thank you.
Thank you.